first meeting of the Gaza Administrative Committee begins in Cairo. Trump threatens countries opposing Greenland takeover. Good afternoon and Salam Malaysia Madani. I'm Otto Othman and you're watching World Today. Now, the first meeting of the Gaza Administrative Committee began on Friday in Cairo. Initial sessions of the Palestinian National Committee, tasked with managing Gaza, focused on humanitarian aid and post-war reconstruction plans. The committee is part of a recently formed technocratic body with its Palestinian members now officially named. The development follows the announcement by U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff on the start of the Phase 2 of the U.S. Gaza plan and discussions among Palestinian factions held in Cairo on Wednesday. Phase 2 emphasizes a peace council framework combining the Palestinian Technocratic Committee with an international stabilization force to manage Gaza's administrative transition. Under the arrangement, the technocratic body will handle public administration and essential services as Israeli forces withdraw, while the international team provides temporary security and stability. The structure will operate under the UN-backed Peace Council, chaired by U.S. President Donald Trump, supported by a resolution adopted by the UN Security Council. U.S. President Donald Trump has named Secretary of State Marco Rubio and former British Prime Minister Tony Blair as founding members of a new Gaza Board of Peace. Also appointed to the 7-member executive board are Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, and World Bank President Ajay Banga. Trump will chair the board with more members to be announced in the coming weeks. The board was announced as part of Phase 2 of a U.S.-backed plan to end the war in Gaza, following the launch of a 15-member Palestinian Technocratic Committee to oversee post-war governance. The committee will be led by Gaza native and former Palestinian Authority Deputy Minister Ali Shaath, with Trump also named as U.S. Major General Jasper Jeffers to head an international stabilization force in Gaza. Blair's appointment is controversial in the region due to his role in the 2003 Iraq War. Despite progress under the plan, the second phase is clouded by aid shortages and reports of continued violence, while Hamas has not publicly committed to full disarmament as a key demand from Israel. In another development, President Donald Trump said he may impose trade tariffs on countries that do not support his plans to acquire Greenland, part of the Danish territory and a NATO ally. Trump told reporters at the White House that Greenland is needed for U.S. national security. Now, he also compared the possible tariffs to those threatened last year on France and Germany over pharmaceutical prices.
Russia or China wants to occupy Greenland. And I may do that for Greenland too. I may put a tariff on countries if they don't go along with Greenland, because we need Greenland for national security. So I may do that. I'll give you.
The U.S. president has claimed Greenland is rich in minerals and accused Denmark of not doing enough to protect it against Russia and China. He also questioned America's role in NATO over the issue, but said Washington is talking to the alliance. European NATO members have voiced support for Denmark and Greenland sending troops to the Arctic territory. A bipartisan U.S. congressional delegation also visited Copenhagen to back Denmark. Denmark and Greenland's foreign minister met Trump at the White House this week, but both sides remain in fundamental disagreement. China has proposed to host the secretariat of a new treaty governing the high seas, signaling its push to play a larger role in global environmental governance. The Chinese mission to the UN said in a letter to Secretary General Antonio Guterres that the city of Xiamen is its candidate. The treaty officially enters into force on Saturday, while the host country for the Secretariat will be decided later this year. Until now, Belgium and Chile had been the main contenders to host the future organization. Experts say China's bid highlights its intention to shape global rules on ocean protection. Li Shou of the China Climate Hub called it a notable move. The announcement comes days after U.S. President Donald Trump declared the U.S. will withdraw from 66 global organizations and treaties, including the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. The High Seas Treaty, ratified in September by 60 countries, aims to protect biodiverse areas beyond national waters, crucial for oxygen production and combating climate change. Once in effect, it will work alongside existing organizations overseeing the oceans, including regional fisheries bodies and the International Seabed Authority. Now, about 55 million people in West and Central Africa are expected to face acute food insecurity. Now, the warning covers the lean season from June to August 2026, according to the UN World Food Programme, WFP. Now, speaking to reporters in Geneva, WFP Director of Food Security and Nutritional Analysis, Jean-Martin Buer, said the figure includes people classified in crisis, emergency, or catastrophe levels under regional food security standards. He said around 3 million people are projected to face emergency conditions, double the level recorded in 2020. Now, the first time in a decade, parts of northeast Nigeria, especially Borno State, are expected to see populations in catastrophic food insecurity, a level just short of famine. An estimated 15,000 people in parts of Borno are affected, with death rates far above normal and widespread hunger reported. Bureau stressed the crisis is not driven by climate, despite some improvement from the last rainy season, but by conflict and major cuts in humanitarian funding. Across the region, about 13 million children are at risk in 2026, underscoring the need to prioritize nutrition programs. Now, Zambia has confirmed 367 Mpox cases since the outbreak began in October 2024, Health Minister Elijah Muchima said on Friday. The cases were confirmed from the more than 2,000 suspected infections reported across 46 districts in 9 provinces. Now, he said while the World Health Organization has declared the international Mpox emergency over, transmission has not ended and response efforts are continuing. Zambia has so far reported 3 Mpox-related deaths. Meanwhile, the country has recorded 639 cholera cases since a new outbreak was reported in August 2025, with 10 deaths and 614 recoveries. 17 patients remain hospitalized in the capital Lusaka as prevention measures are stepped up. Cholera has been reported in 17 districts across 7 provinces, mostly in northern regions, the minister said. He added that Zambia previously faced its worst cholera outbreak between October 2023 and July 2024, with over 23,000 cases and more than 700 deaths. Ecuador has deployed 10,000 soldiers to 3 coastal provinces to combat drug trafficking gangs blamed for a sharp rise in violence. President Daniel Noboa's government says it will take an iron fist approach as murders hit record levels. Special forces were sent to Guyana's Mababi and Los Rios, with military aircraft deploying troops to Manta, a key fishing port used for smuggling routes. Defense officials said operations will be reinforced, including around seaports considered strategic for drug trafficking. Ecuador, which lies between top cocaine producers Colombia and Peru, has seen growing gang activity linked to foreign cartels. The country ended 2025 with a homicide rate of 52 per 100,000 people, according to the Organized Crime Observatory. The Defense Ministry warned that anyone threatening security will face, quote-unquote, prison or hell. Myanmar denies Rohingya genocide allegations at UN court. Myanmar told the United Nations top court on Friday that Gambia had not proven its accusation that the Myanmar government had committed genocide against the minority Muslim Rohingya. Gambia, a predominantly Muslim West African country, brought the case before the International Court of Justice in 2019. Now, it told the court that Myanmar's authorities had targeted the Rohingya for destruction, allegations Myanmar rejected. Myanmar's armed forces launched an offensive in 2017 that forced at least 730,000 Rohingya from their homes and into neighboring Bangladesh, where they recounted killings, mass rape and arson. A UN fact-finding mission concluded that 2017 military offensive had included genocidal acts. Myanmar has denied genocide, and Klang told judges the offensive was a legitimate counter-terrorism campaign. Now, lawyers for Gambia, in turn, argued that it would be unreasonable for judges to conclude that Myanmar's attack on thousands of Rohingya civilians, including women, children, and the elderly, as well as burning their villages, was done just to combat terrorism. A major fire that broke out early on Friday in a deprived area of upmarket Gangnam district of Seoul was brought under control and fully extinguished about 8 hours later. Now, according to a statement by an official from the National Fire Agency, the blaze that broke out in early hours just after 5 a.m. was fully extinguished at 1:28 p.m. Now, while no casualties were reported, 258 residents living in the affected areas of Guryong village were evacuated. Meanwhile, a total of 324 firefighters and 106 vehicles deployed to put out the blaze. A helicopter was also sent once the haze and fine dust surrounding the city in the morning had lifted. Guryong village is a pocket of ramshackle housing in Gangnam, one of Seoul's wealthiest districts. Now, it is due to redevelopment into high-rise residential buildings. Many residents have moved out of Guryong for the redevelopment, but about 336 households remained, according to the Gangnam District City Planning Department. China will strengthen management on the recycling and comprehensive utilization of used new energy vehicle or NEV power batteries. Now, according to the interim measures jointly issued by the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, MIIT, the 5 other departments on Friday, each power battery of NEVs will be assigned a digital identity under the interim measures, which will take effect on 1st of April 2026. In 2025, NEV production and sales both exceeded 16 million units, accounting for over half of domestic new vehicle sales. With power batteries from earlier new NEVs reaching the end of their service life due to capacity degradation, the volume of retired batteries is growing significantly. Industry experts note that the regulation is timely, given that China is entering a phase of large-scale battery retirement, with projected used battery generation exceeding 1 million tons by 2030. Highlighting a full channel, full chain and full life cycle management framework, the MIIT said that the interim measures include establishing a national NEV power battery traceability information platform and a digital ID management system. Britain's Royal Navy said on Friday its first full-sized autonomous helicopter designed to track submarines and carry out other high-risk missions amid rising North Atlantic tensions had completed its maiden flight. Europe's defense sector has been reshaped since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022 as governments increase spending on defense and plan to boost their military ranks. The British Navy said the helicopter, named Proteus, had successfully completed a short test route. Developed under a £60 million program, it was key to defend Britain and NATO allies against what it called evolving threats in the North Atlantic. Designed and built by Defense and Aerospace Group, Leonardo Proteus relies on sensors and computer systems powered by software that allows it to interpret its environment and make decisions. The Navy said it is designed for anti-submarine warfare, sea patrols, and underwater vessel tracking. The Navy already operates several drones, including a small surveillance helicopter, but Proteus is bigger and more sophisticated. Artificial intelligence is being used by pedophiles to produce thousands of child sexual abuse videos, sharply increasing online illegal content. Now, analysts at the Internet Watch Foundation, IWF, found that 3,440 AI-generated videos in 2025 compared to just 13 in 2024. Now, overall, the organization handled 312,030 reports of online child sexual abuse material last year, up from 291,730 in 2024. Of the AI-generated content, 2,230 videos fell under the most extreme category under UK law, with 1,020 in the second highest category. IWF CEO Carrie Smith said the surge puts children at risk, adding that criminals can now effectively create their own abuse material using AI. Smith warned that the rise in extreme AI-generated content reflects the desires of offenders and could encourage further distribution, putting children both online and offline at risk. She called on governments worldwide to ensure AI companies implement safety features from the earliest stages of design, stressing it is unacceptable that technology allows criminals to produce such harmful content. Up next, Al-Ittihad stumble at home.
Perlawanan bola sepak Piala Malaysia dengan barisan 16 pasukan terbaik, gabungan pasukan baharu dan pasukan-pasukan elit bakal merancakan aksi pertembungan bagi menaklukki tahta terulung bola sepak Malaysia. Bersama RTM, rakan penyiar.
Defending champions Al-Ittihad lost at home at Al-Ittifaq on Friday as they continued their slide in the rankings in a frustrating season. The defending league champions also saw goalkeeper Prag Rakovic sent off late on for a handball outside the box, bringing an end to their 6-game unbeaten league run. Both sides had chances in their first half, but the only goal of the night came in the 54th minute when Khalid Al-Ghanam put a lofty shot high in the far corner past Al-Ittihad goalkeeper. Al-Ittihad went down to 10 men late in the match when Rakovic was shown a red card after he left the net undefended and ended up handling the ball well outside the box. After having their 7-game unbeaten run snapped by Al-Khalij in their previous match, Al-Ittifaq responded in style this time round to move within 2 points of Al-Ittihad in the standings. The Jeddah-based team currently sit in 6th place on 27 points, 11 back from leaders Al Hilal, who are on 38 and have a game in hand. Malcolm Carrick said he is blanking out the background noise as he prepares for his second stint as Manchester United's interim manager with a derby against Manchester City. Carrick has been handed control for the rest of the season and his return has divided opinion. But he says all he is considered or concerned about is salvaging something from the campaign.
We want to be near the top league. We want to be top of the league. I mean, that's pretty obvious to say, but we got to take some small steps towards that. And European football, obviously, would be a step forward, and we got to keep pushing.
Carrick stepped up from assistant manager to spend 12 days as caretaker manager of United at the end of 2021 after the sacking of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and was undefeated in his 3 games, including a 3-2 victory over Arsenal. He will have longer to get his ideas across this time, but will need to hit the ground running with his first 2 games against City and Premier League leaders Arsenal. They are 7th in the standings after 1 win in their last 6 league games, but only 3 points off 4th-placed Liverpool. Oliver Glasner on Friday said he will leave Crystal Palace after his contract expires at the end of the season, with the Austrian manager adding that the Premier League club's captain, Mark Gui, is also set to depart. Glasner guided Palace to victory in the FA Cup last season, the first major trophy of their 164-year-old history. The 51-year-old's success at Palace has made him a key target for other clubs, and he has been linked with the top job at Manchester United. Palace are 13th in the league standings with 28 points from 21 matches and have qualified for the Conference League knockout rounds playoffs. Palace travel to Sunderland later tonight, where Glasner will not be able to call upon defending Gui. The 25-year-old was linked with a move to Manchester City, with British media reporting that a deal had been agreed in principle. England international Gui is out of contract at the end of the season. He was due to join Premier League champions Liverpool for a reported fee of £35 million last year before the deal fell through. Qatar's Nasser Al Attiyah looked set for a sixth Dakar Rally title after Dacia driver won Friday's penultimate 12th stage in the Saudi Arabian desert. He extends his lead to 15 minutes with 105 kilometers remaining. The stage win was the 50th of the 55-year-old's career, equaling a record in the car category held by Finnish rally great Ari Vatanen and France's 14-times Dakar winner Stefan Peter Hansel. Ford's Nani Roma remained his closest rival, but the Spaniard's overnight deficit of 8 minutes ballooned after he broke his car's front axle and lost a wheel. French teammate Romain Domas came to Roma's rescue at the stage finish, providing the parts for the second-place driver to continue on the link road and reach the overnight bivouac on time and without penalty. Ford's Matthias Ekstrom was third overall, 23 minutes and 21 seconds off the lead, with Dacia's 9-time World Rally champion Sebastian Loeb a close fourth and ahead of Ford's Carlos Sainz. American Mitch Gauthier was second on the stage for Ford, with Australian Toby Price third in a Toyota. The rally ends on Saturday outside the Red Sea port of Yanbu. Red Bull Racing and Racing Bulls joined together in Detroit to unveil bold new liveries ahead of the 2026 Formula One season. The launch, held in Michigan's Central Station, marked a return to the glossy finish on the car's first seen when the team made its debut back in 2005. Drivers Max Verstappen and Isaac Hadjar were joined by Red Bull Racing Team Principal Laurent Mickys and Racing Bulls Team Principal Alain Permain, as well as F1 CEO Stefan Dominical and Ford CEO Jim Farley. The other Red Bull team, Racing Bulls, also held their unveil at the same event. Now, New Zealander Liam Lawson, who finished 2025 off strongly with 5 top 10 finishes in the second half of the season, and 18-year-old Briton Arvind Lindblad pulled the silk off to highlight an all-white look, enhanced with sleek blue accents tracing the contours of the chassis. The 2026 season begins in Melbourne and will mark the official race debut of Red Bull Ford powertrains, with the team now building both car and power unit under the same roof for the first time. Still to come, Jimmy Carter's personal collections up for auction. The private side of former U.S. President Jimmy Carter is on display at Christie's in New York, where paintings and personal items from the Carter collection are up for auction. The selection includes oil paintings, campaign-era memorabilia, everyday objects like peanut-themed scarves, ties, and a custom Stetson hat. 4 of the oil-on-canvas paintings were painted by Carter himself. Christie's associate specialist Julia Jones said Carter began painting as a child and continued throughout his life, finding solitude and peace in the hobby. Many works depict places meaningful to him, including the church in Plains, Georgia, shown in his painting Steeple, estimated at $6,000 to $8,000. The auction also features furniture Carter made himself, including a pine horse throw coffee table and decorative pieces such as monogrammed china plates from the Carter's North Georgia cabin. Jones said the auction prices are designed to be accessible, allowing more people to own a piece of the Carter story. Carter, a Democrat, served as president from 1977 to 1981, a term marked by the Camp David Accords, an economic recession, and the Iron Hostage crisis. Bidding is going online and ends 27th January, with a portion of the proceeds benefiting the Carter Family Foundation. A huge snow pile has reappeared in central Moscow following heavy snowfalls, earning the nickname the Myskaya Snow Dune after the square where it sits. The pile first appeared in 2018 during particularly snowy winters, when city services closed roads and dumped snow from surrounding streets into the area. This year, the snow dune has reached 5 meters high, drawing both locals and tourists. Many come to slide down it or take photos with the snowy landmark. Student Arina said the Myskaya Snow Dune has become a local landmark and even appears on maps, while visitor, lecturer Anastasia, added that people come early to see the attraction. In previous years, social media accounts were created to celebrate the dune's birthday. Before this winter, the Myskaya Snow Dune had not formed since 2021. Moscow experienced its heaviest snowfall in 56 years on 9th January, among the 5 heaviest in the city's 146-year record, according to the Russian National Weather Center. Nearly 1 million cubic meters of snow were cleared from the city streets following the storm. Animals at the Bioparque de Rio Zoo were treated to custom frozen snacks on Tuesday as part of a summer enrichment activity aimed at providing sensory and physical stimulation amid Brazil's heat. Orangutans enjoyed watermelon popsicles, while capuchin and spider monkeys were served melon-flavored treats. Carnivores, including jaguars, received blood-based frozen snacks, with biologists and veterinarians overseeing the activity.
O principal objetivo é estimular comportamentos naturais das espécies, dinamizar a rotina e trazer certa complexidade para o recinto. Hoje, especificamente, as atividades foram de picolé, que auxilia a gente a conferir conforto térmico para esses animais.
The event, which allowed visitors to observe the tailored enrichment activities, highlighted efforts to cater to the specific needs of each species. The Rio de Janeiro-based Bioparque is home to approximately 650 animals, representing 124 species across 56 enclosures. And that's it from us this afternoon. In our top story, the first meeting of the Gaza Administrative Committee began in Cairo. I'm Otto Othman, Salam Malaysia Madani, and have a great weekend.